Hello and welcome to episode 4 of Reena's World. My guest this week is Reena Kaur, a Punjabi folk singer. I met her a couple of months ago at a friend's wedding and she performed, and her performance and singing really just blew me away. And then when I came home, I just thought I'd Google her, and a whole new side of Reena was revealed to me. She isn't just a singer, she's so much more than that, and her story brought me to tears. And her life lessons are ones that you should really write down and pass on to your children and grandchildren and share with everybody. Reena was engaged at the age of 13, and then after that didn't work out, she was engaged and married at 18. And this didn't work out either, and despite being a single mom of 2 young boys, nothing stopped her from becoming the superstar and boss lady that she is today. So I won't say too much, and I'll let you listen to the lovely lady herself. It's Reena Kaur. Welcome to the show, Reena, and thank you for coming down today. I know you're not feeling very well, but you made it.
I made it, and it's a pleasure to be here today.
Yeah, I had to remind you that I am a doctor.
Yeah.
So if you needed anything, I could have.
I know, I couldn't even lie, could I?
But a lot of doctors have this trick that if they don't know what to say, they just say, drink lots of fluids, vitamin C.
That's
what I said. I know a lot about you. I've read up on you. And the first time I met you was at my friend. She's like my sister to me. It was Poonam at her wedding in Wolverhampton.
Yeah.
And because I was raised in Gibraltar, never really seen this atmosphere with the Sangeet and everything, because Gibraltar's quite a closed community.
Yeah.
We don't have many Punjabi people there, actually.
Okay.
I think I can count maybe 3 or 4 Punjabi
Oh,
families.
wow.
Yeah, yeah. And they're like Hindu Punjabi. They're not,
Like,
Tate Punjabi. Yeah. So when I saw your performance, and I'm being really honest here, it brought a tear to my eye because it reminded me of when we were younger. My mom used to play the videotapes on the VCR, and we used to dance and sing to that because that's what we had.
Yeah, yeah.
And then to see that live in front of me was so amazing.
I feel quite emotional when you say that, because in my head, that's what I want to create, recreate, is that kind of, watching them films as I grew up as well. But we used to do that in our family anyway. But that recreation of that whole vibe of weddings and, togetherness and, singing and laughter and joy.
Yeah.
So it really means a lot to me that you said
but
that.
But it wasn't just me, because I recorded everything. I sent it to my mom, to my mommy and my nanny. They were like, wow, this is amazing. So you didn't just bring joy to me, it was to my extended family as well. So everyone enjoyed it that day. So that was a very new experience to me. And I started following you. I started reading up on your background as a singer, Punjabi folk singer. And then as I kept reading up, I found more information. And I was like, wow, this woman is really incredible. And I need to have her on the show and speak to her. Serena, before I go into anything, let's just talk a bit about where you were raised. And
well, I'm British born, so born and bred in England. Well, I was born in Scotland, raised in England.
Yeah.
And so everything was here, but where we lived was very there was not a lot of Indians there either. So, there was a lot of white people there.
Yeah.
So we was born in a society where, you stood out. But my dad is from Punjab.
Okay.
But my mom is born and bred from here as well. She's born in Liverpool.
Yeah.
And so my mom was quite British, but my dad was very Tate Punjabi.
Yeah.
So I think having that respect, growing up with respect, but being very kind of close to family and watching family do the Sangeet as well, kind of sort of like,
Did you have like your cousins around with you as well, or was it just your parents?
We did, but I was more intrigued than everyone else. I was the little girl that used to sit with all the old people, while the rest of them played outside and played games.
Yeah.
And I would be sitting with the old people listening to the talkie and listen to all the songs.
And what do you think sort of instilled that curiosity? Was it anything in particular? Was it anything you saw or read, or was it just something that came?
It was just a passion. It was just like, I don't know what it was, but when I hear that kind of the dolki, my heart flutters even till this day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what it is. It's just a passion.
And I'm a big fan of Indian classical music as well, and instruments, and I have a dolki at home as well.
Okay.
And I've watched your YouTube videos on how to play the dolki. So I I had a love for this as well when I was younger, but I had nobody to talk to about it because, as I said, I was raised in a community where no one really talked about these things.
Yeah.
And when we were raised in Gibraltar, the community we had around us, they were living in a very different way where the parents wanted to be westernized. It was a thing where my kid doesn't speak Hindi, and they would say that in a very proud way.
Yeah.
My mom was like, no. My kids are going to learn Hindi, speak Hindi, write, read, everything.
Yeah.
And when we would go to India every year, my mom would send me to tabla lessons and all of that. So I know how to play tabla as well and dholki, and my brother plays a dhol. So this was all very engraved in us from a young age. And I felt very left out when I go back to Gibraltar.
Yeah.
And I remember we going to the mandir arena. So I used to play the tabla when they had like big festivals.
Wow.
And I remember my friends.
I don't know any girl that plays the tabla, by the way.
Really?
Honestly.
I do. Yeah.
Wow. That's
I know
good.
it is seen as a male instrument, but as you mentioned, you have this passion and it's something that just listening to the sound of the drum or the dhol or the tabla, it brings something inside you, and I wanted to learn more about it. So I remember playing in the mandir when we had like Ganpati and all these big festivals, Diwali, and it was all the aunties like, oh, Meel, well done, you're doing really well. But my friends would just be like, what are you doing? You know, like they would come in their Western clothes, I'd come in my salwar kameez and play my tabla and go home. But I felt so left out in that sort of thing. But I kind of created a little bubble within myself that I just forgot about it and sort of went on with it. So when you were going through this phase where you were trying to learn about the dholki and everything, did you have any role models to look up to?
It was just the older generation in the family that I used to look up to. Sorry, I've got a black nose.
No, it's okay.
So yes, I used to look up to the older generation. So my nani, my dadi, my nani's babia and that. So when they were all the same age.
Yeah.
So I used to look up to them a lot. And to be honest, my dad was quite strict. So I think because we're four sisters.
Okay.
We're two brothers and four sisters, but I was the eldest. So my dad had that mentality, that kind of typical Punjabi Indian mentality where, girls are just meant to stay at home.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I had that time to practice dholki and do all that. Fine. I never had much education.
Yeah.
So dholki was my kind of singing and playing dholki was my kind of thing to sort of take me to somewhere else.
To create your own little world.
Yeah.
So Reena, just going back to what you just said about you didn't have much education, what do you mean by that? As in you went
so
to school?
I didn't go to school much.
Okay.
Yeah, so I didn't even finish my GCSEs.
Really?
Yeah.
And why was that? Was it because your dad...
I got engaged at a young age.
Okay.
So it was kind of, we didn't think it was... My dad, in them days, not now, he's totally different now, but in them days it was like girls don't need education.
Okay. How did you feel?
I didn't think I needed it.
Yeah.
I know it sounds crazy.
No, it doesn't at all.
Because watching my mom being a housewife, watching my mom being a housewife, you think, well, that's going to be my life too.
That's what it is.
Yeah. You don't think, I want to be a doctor. That didn't even cross my mind that I want to be anything educational.
Yeah. And you got engaged at a young age of 13, right?
Yes.
And I had a discussion with another guest of mine, I think it was last week. We were talking about being a teenager.
Uh-huh.
And at that age, you don't understand any emotion. I mean, happiness, sadness, depression, whatever. Yeah. These things are sort of merged into one feeling because we don't know how to distinguish between everything. So apart from happiness and sadness and all these things, love is something that's also
I think
quite a...
Yeah, I think what it was, 13 was way too young even for me, but I knew that I was going to have arranged marriage.
Okay.
So that was just a way of life. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So I knew I was going to have arranged marriage. Didn't know that I was going to get engaged at 13. But I was quite mature because I was the eldest of 6 children.
Mm-hmm.
So I was, I did go through all the emotions and whatever you do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think because I got engaged at such a young age, I was quite depressed when I was younger.
Because of the engagement? Or...
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I wasn't happy. Does that make sense?
Did you know what you wanted at that age?
I knew I didn't want to be married to someone that didn't like.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Do you know
And
what
could
I
you
mean?
speak up about that to your parents?
No,
or
I spoke to
nothing?
my mom about it. She was
Yeah.
like, "Oh no, you just have to be quiet." It was really weird because my mom told me that I had to be quiet because my dad would get annoyed.
Yeah.
But when my dad actually found out, he was like, "Why didn't you tell me first?"
Wow.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So it's so weird. Like, I think sometimes we make things up in our own head. And the truth of it is, then from that day, my dad always says, look, if you ever have anything, you stand up for yourself. You speak your mind.
Yeah.
And from there, it made me stronger. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
To know that my dad was on my side.
Yeah.
Maybe if my dad asked me if I wanted an education, maybe if I spoke up then, maybe I would have had an education. But the truth of it was, I stayed quiet because that's what I was taught to do.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I'm surprised, Reena, because you said your mother was born British.
Yeah.
So, how did she go about this? Because surely she was raised in a different environment to your father.
She was, but I think, so in my mum's family, we're like 5 or 6 generations here. So they were like the first Indians that came into the UK.
Yeah.
So, you could find out about them from the Liverpool Museum. My mum's family's history is in the Liverpool Museum.
Oh, okay.
So they were one of the first.
Yeah.
And I think coming from India, coming to this country, you are very mindful of having respect, of, keeping your traditions, because you don't want to lose what you brought over with you or where you come from. Does that make sense?
And I think some people sort of overdo it to the extent that, like, my mother, for example, she came from India to raise us in Gibraltar.
Yeah.
And as I said, I played at tabla, wore my salwar-kameez.
Yeah.
And I go back to India and my cousins were like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So
you're more Indian than we are.
Exactly.
We're from India.
Yeah, exactly. So I kind of understand where you're coming from about your mom.
So I think that's what happened. And so my mom's quite traditional.
Yeah.
But now obviously times have changed, so she's more modern and everything now. But yes, that's what happened really.
And this boy you were engaged to, is it can't really call him a man, can I? 13. No, you were 13. How old was he?
I think he was, I don't even know, I think he was the same age.
Really?
I'm not sure.
So what was the deal with this? Like,
basically my bua told my dad that there's a rishta and they see me at a wedding or something. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm talking like this because I was supposed to be 12.
Yeah, really?
12 years old. Oh my god.
Wow.
And then and then she said it to my dad and probably said, look, she's the eldest of the 4 girls and just do it. It's a good house. And, like they do.
Yeah.
So that's what happened.
And when were they planning to actually get you married?
Probably when I was 18.
So when it would be legal, I guess, to put it through. So what happened between 13 and 18 then? So you said you didn't go to school, or did you go to school?
I did, but I wasn't interested, so I don't used to go much.
So you just went as a process, like I just need to go and do that. And so what happened within those 5 years? Did you ever meet that guy, or did you?
No, till this day I've never met him.
So the engagement broke without you even meeting.
So it broke when I was 17.
17.
Yeah.
And how did that happen?
My dad found out that I wasn't happy.
Wow. Okay.
He broke it.
Yeah. And how did he find it? Did you tell him, or was it?
I didn't tell him. Somebody told him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for 5 years, would you say that you had to sort of be silent? And were you suffering inside?
I was suffering, yeah.
Yeah. And do you think, I mean, now we are in a position in our lives where we're much more aware of who we are and how we feel.
Yeah.
Do you think at that time you were depressed or
I was
anxious?
Definitely depressed.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And
because it was the fact that I'm going to get married to someone that I really don't want to get married to because I didn't like it. It wasn't his fault. There was nothing wrong with him.
Yeah.
But in my head, he wasn't for me. I never spoke to him or anything.
But what did you want in a marriage at that time? Did you ever think about
just
that?
a handsome husband.
So are we saying he wasn't handsome?
He was a kid.
Yeah, of course, I know. It feels really weird talking about kids.
As a kid.
Yeah.
So,
So say, Reena, I recently got married and I'm 26. My husband's going to be 32. And even for me, I've known him for 7 years, getting married was still scary.
Yeah.
Because it's still like, well, my whole life's going to change now.
Yeah.
We're going to be codependent. We're going to start a life together.
Yeah.
So I personally couldn't imagine thinking at the age of 13, I'm going to spend the rest of my life with someone. And did you were you able to talk to your sisters or like your bua?
Yeah, my sisters knew. And I had one friend. She was my mom's friend, actually. So I used to go to her house, and I'll never forget the day that it broke.
Yeah.
I was so happy. It was the happiest day of my life.
Really?
It sounds really bad. I hope he doesn't hear this.
So when you were going through this phase, I'm sure music was your biggest outlet.
Oh yeah. So that was always my passion and my thing that I was confident in, I was strong in, I loved, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always had done that. So just singing and stuff at people's weddings and stuff. So yeah.
I'm sure that must have helped you quite a lot. Like
it was like another world.
Yeah.
Because the songs that you sing, they're about weddings and love.
This is something I will come into in a second because it's something I want to discuss, but we'll get to that in a moment, Reena. So after you had this engagement, I mean, I'll put in quotation marks, I don't know if it was a fully official thing.
Yeah.
But then someone else came into your life.
So then another rishta came, so when it broke, and then obviously I had to be married because that was the thing, isn't it? In our culture.
Did you not ever think that I'm surrounded by British people, white people, they never have to go through that? So did you ever think, why am I in this position?
I never associated with them much because my dad was so strict. It was school, home, that's it.
Yeah.
We couldn't go out.
So you were never even exposed to what was going on outside? You had no...
Not really. I only watched a little bit of TV.
Yeah.
My dad was very strict.
Yeah.
And I don't think he meant to be strict in a bad way. It was just the way he was brought up.
Yeah.
So he just carried that on.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah.
So then this second man came into your life.
So the rishta came, and then my dad seen him, and they showed me a picture. Said, ask her if she's happy. I was like, yeah, he's okay. And
how old were you?
I was 17.
17. So this was just...
No, sorry, I was 18.
Okay.
I was 18 and got married at 19.
So there wasn't even much of a gap between when your first engagement broke to when the second rishta had... The second proposal had come in.
No. Yeah. It's not as if you're dating the person. So
yeah,
it's all,
I guess so, yeah.
It's all muzabani, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like what they said by word. And it's enough.
Mm-hmm. And this man was introduced to you again by your family members?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so his mum seen me at a wedding as well.
You went to a lot of weddings, Reena.
And I was the one in the middle of it singing and dancing and everything. It's like a film, isn't it?
Yeah. So this guy that came into your life again, how different was it compared to when you were 13?
It was just different because I liked him.
You liked him.
I'm like, yeah, he's okay. I can work with that.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? And that was it. But he was so lovely. Like when we met, we clicked straight away.
So you just said that I could work with that.
Yeah.
Now that's it's a line that's just showing me that you had to just compromise. It's something
what can I do? I can say, I don't want that one. Can you show me another picture? I don't want that one. That's like isn't it?
Because Reena, I look at my parents also had an arranged marriage, and I asked my mum like how it all came about. So essentially what happened was my daddy was in the mandir and saw my nanny and said, I'm looking to get my son married, and I've seen your daughter and all that stuff. And she brought a photo, and my mum saw the photo of my dad, and I was like, Mum, how did you think this man? Because my dad had like a mustache, big frame glasses, and I was like, Mum, how did you think that this would be the man you want to spend the rest of your life with, just by looking at a photo? And my mum said, well, that's all I could do. I mean, I couldn't say anything. No. If I spoke up, my nana ji, so my mum's father wouldn't have. She just wouldn't take it.
Yeah.
And do you have any brothers, Reena? You said that
I have 2 younger brothers. Yeah.
So do you think this mentality of, oh, this will do, or this compromise sort of thing, do you think that your partner at that time, when you were 18, engaged to that man, do you think he had to think like that as well?
Yeah, he did.
So you think men had?
No, but he didn't even see a picture of me.
Okay.
So he didn't even see a picture of me. He just knew he had to marry me. And we didn't see each other till 2 days after our wedding. So I had a chund.
Okay.
When I had my non-marriage.
Yeah.
I had a chund.
Yeah.
He never seen me.
It's interesting, Reena, because we talk about feminism and all of these things, and we talk about how women are subjected to either getting married, all these things. But from what I can take from this is that also surprisingly that the man had to just take it as well.
He had to take it as well, yeah.
Yeah.
But we were very fortunate.
Yeah.
Very fortunate, yeah. I remember, so when I had come to his house and he still hadn't seen me and he was dying to see what I looked like. He seen my hands and things.
So did he not? He didn't see you at this shadi?
No, he didn't see me because I had a a veil. So I remember him coming in the room and pretending he dropped his ring. He was like, I'm going to look for a ring, and he didn't see me because I had to quickly cover my face. It was like, when I talk about it now, I think, oh my God, this sounds like my past life.
Yeah.
But when we did see each other on our first night, I remember he goes, let me see your face then.
Yeah. So what was it like, Reena, that first night of your wedding? Because, I mean, with my husband, it was different because I obviously knew what was going on. I met him.
We clicked it straight away.
Yeah.
Straight away. Yeah.
And that's quite fortunate because I'm sure that doesn't happen.
I was so blessed, honest to God. Like, we were so happy with each other.
Yeah.
You know, we was just so happy.
Mm-hmm. And where were you at that time? Were you planning to move in with your in-laws, or were
I had no choice.
Again, that's all you had to do.
I had no choice.
Yeah. So you married at 19, and your husband at this time, what was he doing?
He was. What do you mean?
Like what was he working as?
He had his own business.
Oh, he had his own business.
Yeah.
What was it like to fit in with your in-laws? Was it difficult? Was it?
It was okay. They were really really backward compared to my family.
So more so than what you were raised in. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was hard to adapt to and get used to.
So I'm sure that, again,
my husband was really good, so I didn't really care about it.
So that didn't matter. Yeah. At 19, again, in terms of our perspective on the world, is quite different. I mean, when I got married, and I had studied in Prague, I'd seen a bit more of the world. So you have more tolerance, I think, for anything that comes your way. You try to tackle it in a different way, and rather than just get upset or because my mom, for example, when she got married, she didn't have a great experience with the in-laws.
Yeah.
But it got her in a very different way. And I think she still suffers from that experience because she still suffers from anxiety. And she does get quite nervous about it because she was treated so badly. But now we're lucky in the sense that when we get married, hopefully, we've seen a bit more of the world. So dealing with it's a bit easier.
Yes.
So when you were married, Reena, at 19, you said that you didn't work.
No.
You didn't go to school. You didn't go to college. So what did you do then? What was the role of?
It was just housewife. So I got pregnant straight away.
Okay.
So it was just.
Did you plan that pregnancy, or is
not really?
Yeah. So it happened,
but
and
you're not really taught about
all of these things. Yeah. And you had a boy first.
Yeah.
So you got two boys now, actually. Yeah. So how old were you when you had the second one?
22.
22. So you had two boys, and you were quite young.
Yeah.
And at that time, did you ever think, I'm a mother now, I have two sons, I want to create something for myself? Did you have that feeling?
I did that when I had my first child.
Yeah.
So I remember that I was like, I'm quite adventurous with life, but I couldn't show my side. Like, I couldn't show the real me. Does that make sense? I was living the life I was told to live, not the life that I wanted to live. So, and what happened was I was just doing what everybody told me to do. And then one day, it's really weird, like, I went to my mum and dad's, I went shopping, and I met this lady in the shopping centre, and she said, can I do your makeup? And so she did my makeup, and she offered me a career in doing makeup. The company was called Mary Kay Cosmetics. It was like one of the first back in the day. And that opened doors for me. It made me realise who I was and what I had to offer to the world rather than what I was told to do. Does that make sense?
So when this came about, was your husband supportive?
Very supportive.
Yeah? And your in-laws as well?
No.
Okay. There's always someone, isn't there?
It was like you either choose that life of wanting to be something or you stay under our roof. And you know what I did? I had my baby in the pram. I turned my pram around and I walked out the door.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That was the strongest thing I ever did in my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
What gave you that courage?
I think being a part of something else, trying to be, like, start to love myself and start to think, well, I am somebody. And they always used to say, Mary Kay had this thing that she used to say, God never had time to make a nobody. That's why he made us somebody. And that's when I realised that I was somebody. And that's when I realised that I had that strength inside me.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Sorry, Reena, you're actually like making me really emotional. I'm tearing up. I'm just going to have a sip of water before I flood the studio with it.
I'm so sorry. I'm struggling to talk because I've got such a blocked nose.
No, that's okay, Reena. I think what you said was so powerful because I wouldn't say I'm going through what you're going through, but I'm going through a bit of a situation where I'm trying to figure out who I am and loving myself.
Yeah.
Because it's something that we're not taught in our... I wouldn't even just boil it down to our South Asian society. I think it's just in general. It's not a priority to teach children in school, to teach children in college. This is who you are. This is how you need to treat yourself. I'm currently working as a junior doctor, which means that I still haven't gone into my specialization.
Okay.
So I'm at the stage now where a lot of doctors around me are going into the specialization, and I want to be a GP, I want to be a surgeon.
But you haven't found your path.
I applied for GP training, but you know why? The reason I applied, Reena, is because my whole life everyone was saying, Meena's going to be a doctor, she's going to be a GP because GP has a good work-life balance, she can be a mother, she can have a family, that's the best path for her. I did my GP exam, I did everything, I got the results, and I said, I don't want to do it. I just don't want to do it because I could feel that anxiety that it was giving me, knowing that I have to go into another system for 3 years to train. And it's going to affect my life because it's not... I love what I do as a doctor. I love helping people, but I don't want to be stuck in another system again because that's what I've been doing my whole life. You're in school, you're at university. For 6 years, I studied medicine. I slaved away just to get that degree, and I moved away from home. I lived in Prague, which was very difficult for me. I come back, work in another system. Where's my freedom? Who am I? Who am I to the world? Am I just another person in that machine in the factory that's just going round and round?
Are you just a nobody?
Am I? And what you've just said has really resonated with me, actually. I think I needed to hear that because we don't hear that enough around us, Reena, and we don't see people around us sort of go through that process. So when you turned around with your pram and said, I'm actually just going to get on with everything.
And I walked out the door.
So what happened then? What was any consequence of that? Or
obviously I was like the black sheep. It's like, she's going to work. Oh my gosh, she's going to work, you know. And I was only working with ladies. Just showing them skincare and, you know, how to do makeup and stuff. And it was frowned upon. It's like, it's so bad, she's working, you know. And it you know, it was very hard, very hard. But my husband, he was my ex-husband, should I say. He's my best friend now. And we're separate, we're divorced now. But we've got a tight bond. And he supported me through everything that I wanted to do. So, you know, I had that backup.
I think we're really blessed because my husband he's a doctor as well. He's just at the end of his GP training now, so hopefully he'll be done next year. But his passion lies within music as well, but not Punjabi music. He does like rock and indie music as well.
Okay.
So he plays gigs every week, and we're driving in the car to London almost every weekend, take him to the studio, and that gives me that buzz that we're together. We're like a couple trying to achieve more than just being a doctor.
Of course,
and we're very lucky that we have that. You had that support, and I have that support because. Now that I talk to my parents about me not wanting to go into GP and I want to take my time, they're just like, oh, but are you sure? And I'm like, I'm 26. Supposedly I'm going to work till the age of 60, right? Till retirement. Why do I need to decide now?
Exactly. You don't really know what you want to do until you're about, 32, 33. That's when you decide. And I think your 20s is to find, make the mistakes and, the do's and the don'ts and,
But I think you need to have that fearlessness and say, I actually don't really care what everyone else is doing. Let them carry on.
Of course.
And then I'm just going to find my own path. Because I think, mainly in South Asian communities, when we're born, our timeline is set out for us already. Like, okay, Meenal's going to go to school, she's going to go to university, she's going to be a doctor, she's going to get married, and this is what's going to happen. And the moment you say, actually, nah, this timeline's not what I want, that's when people start to get quite anxious about it.
And you know what frustrates me? It's your life. So why do people feel like they've got a right to tell you what to do?
People are allowed to give their advice, and it's always welcome. It's always welcome. But it does frustrate me when you're expected to do things just because everyone, and that's not a good enough reason. It's not a good enough reason for people to say you should become a GP, you should become a surgeon, you should find your path now, just because everyone else is doing it. That's not good enough, for me at least. I mean, so listening to you today, Reena, has inspired me quite a lot. I think I'm ready to take anything on now. So, Reena, I wanted to, if you're okay to discuss this on record, what happened with your ex-husband? Why did the divorce go through?
The thing is, we got married at such a young age where we didn't even see what life was. And he strayed. But I didn't punish is not a right word, but I didn't wrong him for that. I didn't say, oh, because I thought about it. It hurt at the time, but to be honest, it's the best thing that ever happened to me.
But obviously, you didn't think that at the time, did you?
At the time, I didn't, because I was mother of 2 children.
Yeah.
My husband's playing away. So when he strayed, obviously I was upset. But the truth of it is that I didn't see it at the time, but they always say God does things for a reason.
Mm.
And all I did is put all my everything into God.
Mm.
Because I said, God, I know you're going to look after me. And the truth of it was, I had such an ocean to swim in ahead of me. Is that small pond that I was in, I was so trapped. Never realised that when I was finally divorced, so much happened for me.
Yeah.
My career started.
Yeah.
That's when I had a career.
Yeah.
That's when I had a life.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because there was no in-laws, no one told me that you can't do this and this and the other.
How old were your kids when you got divorced?
My eldest was 8 and my youngest was 4.
Okay. So they were still quite young.
Yeah.
And at that time, what was it like to go to your parents and say, this is the path I want to take now? This is the decision I'm going to make?
The truth of it was something that was not in my hands. He did what he did. And you know what Asian parents are like, oh, galtiyan ho jangiyan, try again, whatever. And I did try. We did try.
Mm-hmm.
But it just wasn't happening.
Mm-hmm.
And then we chose to go our separate ways. And then when I did tell my parents, they weren't happy, obviously, that I'm going to be divorced.
Of course, yeah.
But it was something that was really not in my hands. The ball wasn't really in my court. It had to be done.
Yeah, yeah. So your parents knew that to some extent it was the best for you to.
Oh, I don't think they thought it was the best for me.
So what was their feeling?
They was like, oh, can't you just try and think about the kids, and do you know what I mean?
But you knew deep down that you had to make that decision.
Yeah.
And go for it.
Yeah.
And what about your in-laws? What was their reaction?
Oh, they weren't very nice. No.
Yeah.
If anything, it was like, oh, because she wants to live her life. Not that your son's done wrong.
Yeah.
That she wants to live her life.
The son can't be wrong.
No.
How dare you?
No, exactly. And that's what it was like. But I don't know what happened to me. Something grew inside me that I became so strong. I can't even explain it in words, but I had this strength that grew inside me.
Mm.
Because I learned to love myself. I learned to look after myself. And I was like, right, hold on a minute. Don't get me wrong, it was so hard at the time. I was a beautician.
Yeah.
So I used to do hair and makeup for people. I used to cry all the way to my bookings.
Oh, dear.
Try not to cry while I'm doing people's hair and that for weddings.
Yeah.
Because my marriage was breaking down.
Yeah.
And crying all the way home.
Yeah.
It was so hard. But you know what? It made me stronger. As I say, what won't kill you will make you stronger. God knows I was so strong at that point, going through all that. That's why if someone said to me, would you go through that again? Yes, I would go through it again.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you deal with your own stresses as a mother as well? Because you had to come home to 2 kids.
Yeah.
So not only were you giving your energy to your work, to yourself, like your emotions, because crying and feeling sad takes a lot out of you.
God,
it can put you, it can knock you out, actually.
It does knock you out.
And it can you're just like, okay, I'm done for today. That's it. But
I used to cry myself to sleep thinking, what's going to happen with my life?
Yeah.
God, tell me what's going to happen. But it's only, in Punjabi they say, Rab da sunda. That's all you have is God.
Yeah.
That's the only person that I would speak to and that guided me in my life.
Mm.
But with the kids, it was so hard to be strong for the children.
Yeah.
And not showing them your tears.
Of course.
But crying silently at night time.
Yeah.
It was so hard.
Mm.
And when I say love myself, it wasn't the sense that you loved yourself or you did things for yourself at that time.
Yeah.
You were strong for everything, like the kids and, for my customers or whatever. You didn't really think about yourself. It was like you have to numb yourself Does that make sense?
You have to switch off.
You switch off, yeah.
Because you have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you were going through all this, Reena, did you have anyone to talk to at all to help you?
I had friends, yes. I was fortunate. I had friends.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So were you living separately now with your two kids?
And I stayed in my house.
Okay.
One of my friends, she gave me some advice, is never leave your own home. And I didn't.
Yeah.
And I say to any single mom out there or anybody that's going through trouble is don't leave your home. If you haven't done anything wrong, don't you leave. You know, if possible, you can stay.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Stay there, yeah. And, Reena, how do you want to raise your sons now? Because now
they're all grown up now. So.
Oh, you've raised them, yeah, that's
I've
true.
raised them now.
But you've raised them, but you still
they're very empowered by watching me be who I am.
Yeah.
That mom can do it.
Yeah.
I remember once there was a light bulb, the fitting of the light bulb had completely come off.
Yeah.
And I was waiting for an electrician to come and fit it. And I thought, forget it. I got the manual. And there's me, switch electricity off and screwing all these wires and everything. And you know what my son said? He goes, Mum, I was thinking, if anybody could do it, my mom could do it.
But how did you raise your children back then knowing that these boys would grow up to be men who would eventually maybe one day get married? Yeah. They would have to treat other women in a specific way. Yeah. Maybe even have daughters like your father did.
Yeah.
So were you quite conscious about that when you were raising your sons?
Yeah, because I want them to always have respect for women. But being a single mom is so hard. Yeah. People don't know how hard it is. People that are in relationships, they don't know how hard it is to be a single mom. You want the best for your children, you want the best for yourself, you think about the future, you've got to pay the bills, you've got to go to work. Yeah. It's so hard. And I think at the point you were living life, you weren't thinking too much. You were living your life. Yeah. You were just doing the best that you could at that point of time. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
And how old are your sons now?
My eldest is 22.
Okay.
And my youngest is 18.
Okay, good. Yeah. So what do they do now? Are they studying? Or?
So my eldest at university, and the youngest, he still doesn't know what he wants
That's
to do.
Okay, Reena. We said that. That's okay. That's absolutely fine.
Okay. But he's so talented.
Yeah. Are they into music as well, like you are?
The eldest is into music, but he doesn't. He's so talented as well. Yeah. But, he's into the education side at the moment.
Mm-hmm. What's he studying?
Business and IT.
Okay, great.
Yeah. But he's very into he could be a YouTuber. He's so ace. Yeah.
Does he help you? Do they help you out with your stuff as well?
Yeah. I mean, my youngest son is the one that got me into YouTube. Oh, really? Mom, you need to be on YouTube. So he set it all up for me.
Oh, amazing. Yeah. So, Reena, remember, I think about 15 minutes ago, I did say something I wanted to come back to. I think one thing that really touches me actually is that you went through so much in your life with regards to marriage and love and weddings and in-laws and all that, but your whole life now is based around celebrating other people's weddings. And the thing is, Reena, is when you're performing, I've watched your YouTube videos, I've watched you live, very fortunate to have seen that, the happiness that comes out of you when you're singing and the atmosphere you create is so pure and so genuine. You would think that you're like the most happiest married woman in the world. With like the perfect in-laws and the perfect that's how you come across. So how do you do that?
Now I'm getting emotional.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I think what happens is it's something that I never had. Yeah. So I want to give that to other people. Does that make sense? Yeah. I never had that kind of the happiness of marriage. Mm-hmm. Because when I got married, I was getting married, but it was like shut up and put up. Yeah. Even though I was fortunate, because my husband was very lovely. But it was shut up and put up, so I never could enjoy my wedding and that. And now when I go to a wedding and I see these brides and grooms and the mom and the sisters, it's really weird, but I put myself in their shoes. And I think, how would I want to be, so I make it special for them. Yeah. So their happiness is my happiness. When I see them happy, it makes me happy. Yeah. That's amazing because you've obviously turned a big point in your life now where that doesn't affect you anymore. No. Has it ever been times? It did affect me at one point. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. Yeah. It did affect me at one point. because I had been divorced and I'd been single for so long, and I was like, what about me? You know what I mean? Like, what about me?
Yeah.
But I think the person that I am is, I just like seeing people happy. And it always switches it. Even when I feel sad, like sometimes, like today I'm not well, and I had to sing it like 2 days ago, and I was so not well, but I made it. But when I seen how happy they were, this made me so happy.
That's it. That's all you need.
That's all I need.
Yeah.
Is happiness just makes everything better, doesn't it?
Yeah. And what is your biggest challenge as a Punjabi folk singer right now? How do you keep those roots when you're singing and make sure that you don't forget where these traditions come from?
I think it comes down to passion. My passion for it is so strong. And I mean, when I do Sangeets and stuff, and when I do release songs, they always want to have the modern twist.
Yeah.
They do try and do that. But deep in my heart, I'm so traditional. Do you know what I mean? And I think it's just remembering where your passions lie.
And that's what comes through in your singing. And that's what comes.
And that's what I just be strong with the passions. And I am passionate about being traditional and, you know.
Yeah.
So,
How do you actually feel about music becoming westernized? Is it something that bothers you?
I love it.
Yeah?
I love it. I love all music.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to be really surprised, but I don't listen to that much Punjabi music.
Really?
I listen to jazz music a lot.
Yeah.
That's my passion, like in the sense of relaxation-wise.
Yeah.
Sometimes Punjabi music is like turn, you know. But I love jazz music. I love that kind of the ambience that it brings to you and stuff like that. So I love that. But yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, now what's happening now is that I was so passionate about it before, the Punjabi, you know, roots and everything. And I do still love it, but because it's becoming a job, because the demand is so high, it's stressing me out a little bit, you know? So I'm thinking of taking a step back so I can feel the passion again.
Okay. Yeah.
And not be so commercialized and so, you know, into, you know, oh, I have to do what she's doing or he's doing or what's with the trends. Keep it real, keep it to what excites you. And I think that's what I need to go back to rather than stepping forward and trying to be like everyone else.
Because I think that's something that we face a lot now in a generation of social media where we see other singers, other YouTubers, in my case, podcasters, bloggers, doctors. And you can put a persona up so easily on social media, on the internet, that you actually disconnect yourself from who you really are.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. But one thing I've learned in life, and now I'm 42 years old, and I've learned a lot in my life. One thing I know that will always be true to you is if you keep it real. Keep it real. Don't try and be something that you're not.
Yeah.
And that's what tends to happen with social media. And I'm put my hands up to that. You know, you try to be something that you're not. And I think taking it back to the basics and keeping it real, the passion comes through. And it gives you a whole new niche. And that's what happened when I started Lady Sangeet.
Yeah.
There was only one lady doing it before, but she did it not like I did it.
Yeah.
I kept it real from what I was taught and how I was, you know, how I seen it. And that kept it, you know, it was a whole new niche.
Yeah. But Reena, is this your career now, would you say? Because you mentioned makeup as well. Is that something you still do?
I used to do that. I was a makeup artist for many years.
Yeah.
And I was quite successful in that.
Yeah.
But with the singing, it was such a high demand. And it was a passion, so I was like, yeah, I want to do it.
Yeah.
So that's what, you know, now it's a business. So we extended the company. We have other singers.
Yeah.
You know, I teach people.
And do you perform abroad as well?
Yes.
Oh, I wish I knew that before I got married.
I know you said, yeah. But yeah, I have performed abroad. A lot of destination weddings.
Yeah. Because I've also seen, Reena, on your social media that you do travel a lot.
Yes.
Is that something that helps you stay?
I love traveling.
But do you do it as a, I wouldn't say an escape, but just as a way to detach yourself for some time and to get your creativeness back? Is that?
I think what it is, people, it's really weird when you're doing like Punjabi single, people think you should be 100% Punjabi. You should eat Punjabi food, you should dress Punjabi, you should speak Punjabi.
Yeah.
everything you should do, it should be Punjabi.
Yeah.
They stereotype you, don't they?
Yeah.
Like, she's Punjabi, that they put this kind of
Yeah.
image.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I went on a date and I met my partner who I'm with at the moment, and he was like, I was a bit wary that you was going to be so Punjabi. But he goes, you're so not Punjabi.
Yeah. No, I think it's really important that now, even though we have a love for our culture and all of that, we integrate it within our society now in the Western world.
Yeah.
Because if not, then we'll never actually move ahead as a generation.
That's right.
I think. Yeah.
You have to move with the times.
Yeah.
Yes, keep your roots at heart, but you have to move with the times. You have to.
Yeah.
And I think when I travel, I become this person that loves life. I think when you're doing the Punjabiness, they kind of put it, not just me, but a lot of people put it into a kind of a box.
So Reena, I have a few friends of mine, and even my own mommy actually, who's into singing, and she's someone who wants to become successful. Well, I wouldn't say wants to become successful, but wants to be able to hit that point where she can say, okay, now I'm enjoying it. I'm performing in front of people.
Yeah.
Because now, I guess she started off, as you can say, like a bathroom singer, and then she went into getting classes and then performing, but she does like bhajans and all that stuff. So
that's how I started bhajans.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So wait, are you performing in the mandir?
Yes.
Okay. And then from there you moved on to folk singing. Or do you still do both? Or
I still do. I don't do so many bhajans now, but that's when I started singing in public, was bhajans.
Yeah, right, okay.
Yeah.
So my aunt, for example, is one person, and I know a lot of other young girls actually who want to express their creative passions, whether poetry, through art, through writing. What advice would you give someone now?
I would say just follow your heart. And if you've got a passion for it, and you know what? I think when God makes us, I think God always puts this creativity inside you. And it's up to you to use that creativity to your best that you can. Because some people are so talented and so creative, they don't do nothing with it. But God gives you that for a reason. So if they want to do it, they should do it. Don't worry about being famous. Don't worry about, being popular. Worry about making yourself happy. Does it make you happy when you're doing it? And if it makes you happy when you're doing it, then I would say carry on doing it.
And how would you define your success, Reena? For you, what is being successful? What does that mean to you?
I don't feel like I'm at my tip point, success point at the moment.
Yeah.
I feel like I've got a long way to go. But it like I said, it's hard work being in this day and age.
Yeah.
With social media, there's good points and bad points with social media, but it's so hard, but yeah, I feel like I've achieved I've ticked all my boxes, but I feel like I still got a little bit more.
What else do you want to do? What else do you feel like is out there for you?
At the moment, I feel like as you said before, you don't know where you are.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know what you want to do. I've done the singing now, and it's doing really, really well, but there's something else. My calling is something else yet. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. You don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is.
That's really interesting, because I was talking to my husband yesterday, and we were saying, so he's into his music, I'm into my podcasting. I said, in a few years, this might not be the thing that we're doing. Exactly, this might lead into something else. My husband's music might lead into something else. Yeah. I think that's what people need to understand, because we always have a goal in our head. When I started this podcast 4 years ago, I said, when I have a radio show, that's it. That would be great. And I did have, last year I was on Subrus Radio for some time, but that didn't work out for me. Yeah. Then I thought, okay, maybe if I do this, then going on TV will be it. Then I went on TV and I was like, well, not really feeling anything right now. So I think we need to see our passions through milestones rather than goals. Because if we have an end goal all the time, I think when we get there, we'll be quite disappointed, because you'll feel empty. Like, what's next? What's next? So I think we need to be more grateful about the milestones we achieve.
Definitely. And I think that's why I travel so much, because it's something that I'm looking for. I haven't found it yet. Yeah. But it's something that I'm looking for. Yeah. Like, what could I do?
And you probably find more as you experience more as well. I don't think you can find your passions, and you can't find more in life if you stay in the same environment.
Of course. And sometimes they say, everything won't come to you. You're very fortunate if it does. Yeah. But most of the time you have to go and get it. You have to look for it. Yeah.
I think that hard work aspect of our generation is 100%. Is so diluted actually through social media, because our idea of hard work, is so is not what it should be, because I think, as we mentioned, social media tells us someone has started a YouTube channel and then we see 1,000 subscribers, 2,000 subscribers. No one talks about what happened in between.
No.
What did they actually go through? What were the processes?
Yeah.
And I think we need to be more active in understanding that as creators, because when I started the podcast 4 years ago, I mean, imagine now I'm in my you could say fifth year of podcasting. I'm still looking for listeners. I'm still looking for sponsorships. I'm still going through that whole process.
Yeah.
But when I put an episode out on social media, people think, "Oh, she's had a great episode. That's it." Yeah. No, actually, like, I had to hunt people down to make this happen.
Yeah.
And I think we need to spread that message out to tell people that what you see isn't the full reality, and just take some time to understand.
It's so true. I think people think, like, and I think everybody that's been successful in their lives, they will all tell you the same thing. It was so hard to get where we are today, and we had to fail so many times to achieve something in life. And I think some people don't see the inside of it. They just see the pretty picture rather than what was behind, to get to that point in life.
Yeah.
So I think you've hit the nail on its head. Like, people don't really understand.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think we need to advocate for that as creators and tell people like, actually what you see is not the full reality. It's maybe 1%, but the 99% that we have to go through. Even just like driving from London to here, and even from driving.
When I do Sangeets, people like that. Your life is brilliant. Your best life. Look at the job that you do. You must love it. Making people laugh, singing. Getting paid well, and this. Hello, do you not see what happens behind before that?
If people saw how long it took us to set up the camera today, I think I think they would understand.
Exactly, setting up the camera, you like all the notes that you made, everything, it just
takes time.
It's hard work,
But as you said, the end product for us is to be happy with what we do, and as long as we're going through that, then I think that's all that matters.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for joining me today, Reena.
No, thank you so much for having me.
I hope you enjoyed the conversation.
I did, and thank you for my present.
That's okay. That's okay, Reena. I hope maybe one day you'll be singing Sangeet at my kid's wedding. Who knows? So thank you for joining me today, Reena.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Oh, before we go, actually, Reena, if people want to follow you, how can they find you on? Speaking of social media, how can people find you?
So if they want to find me on YouTube, you just have to type in Reena Kaur. Actually, just put Reena Kaur into Google and it should come up.
Okay.
So I've got Instagram as well. So it's Reena Kaur Official.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much.
Thank
Reena.
you so much, Reena. Thank you.
Thank you all for tuning into this episode, and of course a big thank you to Reena, who was quite unwell when she met me that day, but she still came down and recorded this episode. So what I would like to know from you guys is what your biggest takeaway message from this episode was. You can drop me an email to meenalsworldpodcast@gmail.com. You can drop me a message on Instagram, Facebook or Twitter as well. You can find me at meenalsworld. And remember, you can also follow Reena on Instagram as well. She's at Reena Kaur Official. You can find all her videos on YouTube, and I'll leave her website and details in the show notes below if anybody wants to contact her to book her for an event or just have a chat with her. Remember to share these stories with your friends and family. I really believe these stories can be life-changing and can really inspire so many people. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes, and if you do have a moment, please leave a review, because this will help us reach out to more people. So thank you all again, and I'll see you all next week.